You don't yell at a bud because it isn't a flower yet. It's gonna be a flower, but it opens when it's time for it to open. If you're working on something that is beyond your ability at the moment, it doesn't mean it will be beyond your ability in a month, but at the moment, it's gonna frustrate the hell out of you.
It's so important that you understand you must be patient with people, you must be patient with plans, you must be patient with, everything. You can't get what you want right away. It just doesn't work that way. People that are patient are incredibly effective.
It is called aggressive patience. You have to understand that not only is it going to take time, so you have to be patient, but also during the time that you are waiting, you have to be executing day after day after day after day, as if you can will and force this goal into reality.
Patience is a sign of wisdom. How do you become more patient? Become more wise. Wise means I'm not looking just at the moment. I'm looking ahead. I'm looking into the future. What will this activity result in? What will be the outcome 5 years from now, 10 years from now? That's wisdom. Wisdom is patience. Let things develop. Don't rush your way through life.
What is patience? Is patience feeling patient, or is patient doing the thing that is patience? If you do the thing in spite of being fearful of doing the thing, that is courage. And if you don't do the thing, even though you felt like doing the thing, that is cowardice. And I think that motivation and patience are exactly the same. If you're patient, despite not feeling patient, that is patience.
Yes.
That is how it works.
So first of all, do the deep work, as I just mentioned. Do your research, there's no shortcuts. And then, patience is incredibly important. Accept and understand that you're going on a journey and you're not going to crack it and be on front of magazines, in the first week or year, maybe not even in the first decade. But if you believe deeply in what you're doing, if it, is deeply ingrained and you've done that foundation work, then you'll put one foot in front of the other and you'll get there eventually.
Patience. A lot of people nowadays are really, really impatient. The reason why I think it's gotten worse is we're so used to the power of our phones, of our computers, that we think everything should be happening quickly and instantly. If we have to wait 5 seconds to get a piece of information on the internet, we're thinking, oh my God, it's taking so long, it takes so long to download. Whereas 20, 30 years ago, you would have had to go to the library, you would have had to spend an hour to do it. You learned how to develop patience to find things. But people are so impatient because everything is so quick and easy and powerful right now. So you want to be able to slow things down. You want to have the ability to say, if it's going to take me an hour to learn this, if I have to spend time practicing something that's tedious, I'm okay with it. I like the slowness. I actually embrace the pain that's involved.
Things take time. I don't know why. Why can't things just happen instantaneously? Because if it's good, why not now? It's a good question. But the fact is, things take time. And only with time will it turn out to be what it's meant to be. If you rush, you ruin even good things. Every baker can tell you that. Every chef will tell you that. If you rush it, you ruin it. So have a little wisdom and look at the picture long term, not just immediate gratification.
There's a few other key mindset shifts to make to be a little bit more patient. We live in the world where everything is immediate. You can get whatever it is that you want right now. If you want something, luxury bracelet, you could probably get it overnighted to you if you wired the money to them today, and it's going to be at your house tomorrow morning. If you want food, it can be delivered to you. If you want to be driven somewhere, someone will come pick you up within the next 5 minutes. If you want your food delivered to you, you can get it in the next 15 to 30 minutes. Everything is just immediate. Knowledge is immediate at this point, right? You can just Google something and immediately know. Success, though, is not immediate. And a lot of times we think that just because somebody pops out of nowhere, they build a massive company, or they're massively successful, or they're a massive musician out of nowhere, you think that it just happened overnight, and it didn't. You don't see the 10 to 15 years of hard work, sometimes even more than that, accumulating skills, accumulating talent, accumulating knowledge to get them to where they need to be. So it looks like this immediate meteoric rise, but in reality, it was a really slow burn for a long time.
You don't need more power as much as you need more patience. Everything's not supposed to work out in your 20s. Everything's not supposed to work out in your 30s. If you're talking about finances, most billionaires became billionaires at least in their late 50s. So if it doesn't happen today, it doesn't mean that God said no. Let me say it this way: delayed does not mean denied. You don't always need more power as much as you need more patience.
Put in the work to be prepared.
Always like when you are expecting something quickly to happen from yourself. Yeah, but how long was like the past that led to what you are right now? How long is that past misusage of yourself? And then you can more or less roughly already see how much strength, how much discipline, how much patience you're going to need for the upcoming time.
So I think if you preserve your character, you preserve your nature, and you're patient, it may be bitter initially, but the fruit of patience is so sweet. Your first 5 years, your first 10 years, you're gonna have to hustle. You're not gonna skip it. The guy that made $1 million on a meme coin, that's the guy that made $1 million on a meme coin. Is very rare. It's a blue moon. It doesn't happen. It doesn't occur to everybody. If you wanna make money, it has to come from not luck, it has to come from opportunity development. That development comes from skill repetition, and it comes from rep maxing. You have to go hardcore in your reps.
But here's the truth. None of us get to choose our starting point. Anxiety, fear, confusion, pressure. The kind of pressure that forces you to act, to move forward, even when you're scared, even when you have no idea where you're going. But in that moment of uncertainty, you learn something. You learn that patience isn't just waiting, is endurance. That persistence isn't just pushing through, it's knowing why you keep going.
Almost always take longer than you want it to, but when it does happen, it will be 10 times better than you thought it was going to be. So all you have to do is, number one, make sure you're aligned. Number two, make sure that you're patient. And then obviously part of the patience is you got to put the work in.
I've come to realize how important it is to just be more patient with yourself when you're growing. We expect instant results, have immediate growth, and make no mistakes, but everything meaningful in life takes time. The skills you're learning, the process of healing, the relationships that you're in, or self-discovery, they all take time. And you'll only be disappointed if you try to rush that process, because real change does not happen overnight. I feel like it's so easy to feel that you're not doing things enough, you're not fast enough, or you're not successful enough. But life isn't really a race. You're not falling behind. Just because you see someone who's successful at like 21 online, that doesn't automatically make your life a failure. You're simply on your timeline, and the more patient you are with yourself, the more space you give yourself to grow into the person that you're meant to become. Just the fact that you're waking up every morning and having another day to live is already a victory. Somewhere out there, someone's last day was yesterday, and yet here you are, breathing, alive, with time still on your side. That in itself is huge, because not everyone gets that chance. So be more patient and give yourself credit for simply making it this far, for getting through the things you thought you couldn't, and for being here. When you stop expecting yourself to know everything right away, it allows you to keep showing up without doubting yourself all the time.
And you haven't put in the labor and the work and the study, you're not going to go anywhere. And you're going to be sitting, as he said, in shallows and in misery. So my encouragement to young people is two things: preparation and patience. Preparation and patience. And for not so young people, you have a direction you want to go, you have a dream in life, don't let go of that dream. Be patient until things work out, but put in the work to be prepared. All right.
On them simply by giving myself more proof, or one more penny on the scale that says I'm a little bit more patient than I was. I'm a little bit more patient. I'm a little bit more patient, to the point where I have so many pennies on the scale that I can say I think I am pretty patient. Even though every time I put a penny on the scale, I don't want to put a penny on the scale. I want to get the thing to happen today. I want it to happen yesterday, because why is it taking so long? It didn't take that long for this person. I feel like I work harder than them, and I feel like I'm better than them. Why am I not doing that? But I put the penny on the scale.
It's often said that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world in financial terms. It's true in self-development and building a business and growing ourselves. It doesn't happen overnight. And so being aware of that and being ready for that long journey, I think is very, very important.
People are impatient. Now, why is that? It's because rational, healthy people, human beings, prefer earlier to later in the satisfaction of any need or desire. In other words, we want it now. The earlier you receive any benefit, the less risk there is that you will not get it at all. In our fast-moving society, they say instant gratification is no longer fast enough.
You plant a Chinese bamboo seed, and you give it the water and the nutrients and everything it needs, the right soil, it gets the sun. Year 1, it doesn't come up through the ground. Year 2, it doesn't come up through the ground. Year 3, doesn't come up through the ground. Year 4 doesn't come up through the ground. Year 5 doesn't come up through the ground. And then year 6, it grows 80 feet in 6 weeks. Sometimes it'll grow 2 feet in a day. They say it grows so much you can actually see it growing. Now, that's kind of how success is it usually doesn't come right away. And it never comes as fast as you want to, I promise you that. But when it does come, it's way more than you thought it could be. And that's what's cool about it. Success is a marathon. And if you love what you do, if you're interested in what you do,
world-worthy almost to speak. It's almost like a law of the universe that when you've put in that much time and energy and effort and diligence, it's likely to succeed, but it's just that the patience that it takes to put in that 10 years of mastery or whatever it may be for a different skill. Like you just kept saying, there's no shortcuts, there's no easy way through that.
Real patience is an expression of deep understanding. You see, everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Everything in this universe happens by law. We set targets and we need things to happen. We need something to come or someone to do something. And frequently we get frustrated because it isn't happening when we think it should happen. Our problem is we're not thinking. We believe we're in charge. We are not in charge. We are in charge of building the idea and holding the idea. Everything else happens automatic. It happens by law. All ideas have a gestation or an incubation period.
There are several different aspects of courage that you must learn to develop in order to become unstoppable. Perhaps the most important is the courage to endure, to persist, to hang in there in the face of doubt and uncertainty and criticism from others, and of course, temporary failure. This type of courage is called courageous patience. It's the willingness and ability to stay the course in the face of uncertainty and doubt and often criticism, temporary failures and setbacks in any area.
I can be patient if I act patient, even if I don't feel patient. And then that allowed me to start giving myself a stack of undeniable proof that I am who I wanted to be. And I don't believe in binary traits, meaning like he's patient or he's impatient or he's loyal or he's disloyal. The question is, how loyal are you? How honest are you? How patient are you? And by switching the character traits that I wanted to have into progressions or continuums allowed me to make progress on
days to get back to something that meant so much to me, then I think anybody can wait any period of time, for God to deliver the blessing that He has for you. Don't try to do it all in one day, and patience is a virtue.
We want it very fast. If you don't see results in the first 2 days or the first week, I'm done. That's the mentality of most people. The struggle is too real. We're not patient. We like in a world where you can Google the best restaurants around me right now, no one is patient. And for you to lose weight, for you to stop drinking, whatever the hell you're going through, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of pitfalls, a lot of plateaus. You're gonna hit so many plateaus. If you don't know how to get around that plateau, it's not gonna happen fast.
Most goals are attainable if you expand the time horizon, even enormous ones. Like you can do anything in 10 years.
You could walk to the moon.
There you go. You can do anything. And so for me, I would say, a naturally impatient person. Like I tend to want things immediately now. And you know what? You probably are too. But once I defined patience as figuring out what to do in the meantime, it allowed me to control what I did. Because now, like you and I are being patient for your stock investments. Right now, as we're on this podcast, we're being patient for that because we're doing things in the meantime. And so whenever I felt impatient and wanted to change course, I had to just redefine, what do I need to do today? And if you are sad and impatient, then it means that right now you need to learn what the option is that you need to go pursue. And then that makes it very much under your control. And so step by step, each of these emotions over time, I spent a lot of time trying to define them out so that they no longer control me and I know how to solve them.
Time that it takes to master something so that it becomes
this too shall pass. And so I'll just be patient until this passes.
Be patient is a very hard thing to operationalize. So whenever you're doing anything, you're fundamentally being patient for everything else that you're not doing. As long as you have a plan of what you're going to do in the meantime, you are patient for everything else that you, quote, want to be patient for. No one's going to just sit there with their hands and be like, I'm being patient. No, the marshmallow test for kids, when they looked at what the kids were doing that were able to wait for the second marshmallow, most of them distracted themselves. They either took the marshmallow, put it in their pocket, they started like singing songs to themselves, doing things in the meantime. Whereas the kids who couldn't resist it just sat there and stared at the marshmallow until eventually they broke. And so what happened is, instead of using willpower, they just ignored it and kept themselves occupied. That's the key skill, is figuring out what you're going to do in the meantime, not trying to think, I'm impatient. It's just you haven't figured out what your alternative plan is.
Sometimes people ask me, Andriuha, what is the key for the power? Not many people understand that. But the key for the power is patience. You need patience for things to grow, for wealth, for power, for influence. Nothing comes fast, Luke. You need patience for reacting to the struggles of life. Things will go wrong. People will make you angry. You need patience with them and yourself. If you don't have patience, you will often decide too fast and too stupid. If you don't have patience, you will act out from anger and hate.
I would say just have patience. One thing I had to learn in my life is have patience. And I just said it a second ago, you can't get it all in one day. And it's gonna be frustrations. You know, it's gonna be times where you want something so bad, you feel like you deserve it, and maybe you don't at the time, and you feel like you've done all the right things. But if I can wait 450 years.
Just because we don't know how long it's going to take doesn't mean that it isn't operating by the same laws. Everything operates by law. So if we gain an understanding that all the ideas in our mind will ultimately move into form. That's what Andrew Carnegie taught Napoleon Hill. Carnegie was Hill's mentor. He said, any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. You might want to listen to that 2 or 3 times.
So urgency, effort, and patience. 21 days, some people will say, I'll be patient for 21 days, but I don't know about 90 days. Well, that's your problem. I'll be patient for 90 days. I'll give this real estate thing a shot for 90 days. But I don't know about a year, Pat. I don't think I'm going to do that. Well, that's your problem. Well, I'll give this thing a shot here. I see things going with this company, and I think it's going to work. I'll give it 1 year, but I don't know about 3 years. Well, then that's your problem. Well, I'll give this thing 3 years, but you know, 3 years, I swear if I don't get to this, well, then it's my 5 year. I'm not giving it 5 years. Everything is about patience, urgency, effort. One of those 3 is lacking. If one of those 3 lacks, you're not going to see changes. If you're not patient, you're definitely not going to witness the change.
Some of the most patient people you ever meet in your life are people who've had the hardest life. And they've learned. There's no point slamming my head into the wall. There's no point being jacked up, spun up, ginned up about the whole thing. It's what's going to happen is going to happen. And so I'll just...
It can last. If you don't love what you do and it doesn't feel aligned with you, you will burn out.
Because when people hear be patient, you know what they hear? Sit in your chair, kick your feet up on the desk, and it'll just happen. That is not how it works. You have to come in, you have to dedicate yourself You have to execute day after day after day after day at the highest level that you possibly can for as long as you can, and still it's going to take time. You can't outwork the time.
If you can wait a year, you can make a ton of money. Like if you can do something for 12 months, you can not need for financial goodness pretty much for the rest of your life. I'm not saying you're gonna be hella rich,
Right.
but you're not gonna need for anything if you can wait 12 months. If you can wait a decade, you're going to be above the 1%. If you can wait 10 years for an outcome, be able to do the doing without seeing the result for 10 years, you will be able to be above most achievement of most people. And if you can wait a lifetime and you don't even need to see the result of your doing this, even while you are alive, but know that it may get done after you pass, then I believe that you can change the world.
You should be focusing on most is the effort. Putting in the effort, not scrolling on Instagram instead of putting in the effort, not I don't know if I'm good enough versus instead of putting in the effort, not procrastinating and self-sabotaging instead of putting in the effort. It's the effort. Put in the effort. And then just be patient. And I know it's not that fun. It's not that fun. You always want it to happen faster than it will. But I promise you this, and I can tell you from my personal experience and many people that I've seen that have become world class at something, or successful at something, or great at something, is that you control the effort, and all you have to do is just take a step back and say, I just trust that eventually I'm going to get there. And we always want it to happen faster than it will. It will always